Happy Victory Monday, Vikings fans. 8-2 feels oh so good. So what's going on, guys? My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome in the Vikings Now. Now, topics discussed on today's show. We're going to start off with some of the big-time plays from yesterday, a couple good ones and a couple bad ones, and then we'll also dive into Sam Darnold. As, in my opinion, he had one of his best performances wearing a Vikings uniform. And then the defense, that's 3 games in a row where they are looking like their old self from the first 5 weeks of the year. And then the run game. It has been absolutely awful for the last month of the season. We'll dive into the stats and also explain how the Vikings can fix that. And then I honestly think the number 1 seed is fully in play for the Minnesota Vikings. So explain how that is possible on today's show. But before we dive into it, I want to get a message out there for Vikings fans because I see a lot of people who aren't happy about the 8-2 start, and they're upset with how the Vikings have been winning the last 3 games. Yes, they have been ugly wins, but they are still wins. We look at what this team has gone through. Losing J.J. McCarthy, losing Mekhi Blackman, obviously Kyrie Jackson tragically passing away, and then in the middle of the season, you lose your star left tackle in Christian Darrisaw. The fact you are 8-2 right now should fire you the hell up. So if you guys are excited about it, and if you guys are happy about the 8-2 start, just hit that thumbs up icon, like today's video, get the good vibes going as, man, 8-2. The 8-2 Minnesota Vikings. If I would have told you that 3 months ago, a lot of you guys would have laughed at me. So if you guys are fired up about it, hit that thumbs up button. So KOC on Josh Oliver, this is what he had to say. Josh Oliver did leave the game yesterday early dealing with an ankle injury, and KO said this: "We will see what that looks like as we're able to get back to Minnesota and take another look where he's at." So no real big-time information yet on Josh Oliver, who, by the way, has been fantastic to start this season. I mean, really, I think the Vikings had the best tight end tandem in the entire National Football League, and a big reason of that is because of the emergence of Josh Oliver, specifically in the pass game. So hopefully he's good. Hopefully he's back out there for this Vikings offense. But let's just dive into some of the top plays from yesterday. Now, this was the touchdown to Jordan Addison, kind of to set it up here. It was 1st and 10. Vikings' second offensive drive of the game, and they were around midfield at the 47-yard line. They sent Addison, who's at the slot up here, in motion, and then it's just Jefferson running a clear-out route, and then Addison hit that deep crosser. And the best part about this play was I think there's only a handful of receivers who could have turned that into a touchdown. Like, Addison caught the ball at around the 20-yard line. He turned it upfield, got in the end zone. There was not a safety on that Titans team who could catch up with them before he got to the pylon. So I think Kevin O'Connell should go back to this play, and I believe he will, because this was a beautifully designed play, and it was beautifully executed by this offense. But my favorite play of the game from yesterday actually came on a 3rd and 6 early in the second quarter. So the Vikings are backed up in their own territory. First set of downs of this drive, 3rd and 6, ball on the left hash. They got bunched to the short side of the field, and Sam Darnold's in shotgun with C.J. Ham to the right of him. Now on this play, the pocket completely collapsed. Sam Darnold had to find a crease, and he evaded out to his left. And then what did he do? We saw that backyard football. Sam Darnold found Justin Jefferson 31 yards down the left sidelines. Now this is something I really, really want the Vikings, or specifically Sam Darnold, to go to more. He is a good athlete. We saw it yesterday in the game. He was evading sacks left and right. And one thing I have loved is that Kevin O'Connell has gone to that tush push a whole lot with Sam Darnold. I want to see that back in this kind of game script and game flow that KO is going to. But Darnold, keep making plays outside the pocket. Jefferson talked about it this offseason, having a quarterback who can kind of play a little backyard football. So I thought that was my favorite play of the game. Darnold, he evades a sack, he rolls out to his left, and he delivers a beautifully thrown ball to the best wide receiver in the National Football League. Also, shout out to Justin Jefferson. Most receiving yards in NFL history throughout the first 5 seasons. This dude is, I think he's got a better chance of being the greatest wide receiver of all time than he doesn't. Just shout out to number 18. But a bad play from yesterday, and this is all on Josh Metellus here. A big reason why Metellus had the lowest PFF grade out of any Minnesota Viking. Actually, him and Aaron Jones did, and we'll talk about Aaron Jones here in a second. But Vikings are on defense here. They got the Titans all the way backed up. This is the 98-yard touchdown. It's 3rd and 10. Vikings ended up bringing 5 with Van Ginkel as the QB spy right there. So they got 6 guys pretty much on the line of scrimmage trying to make havoc for Will Levis. And, why this play messed up was because of this. Josh Metellus is over here at the 30. He sprints to try to make a play on the football, and Will Levis just put it right over the top. I really thought yesterday, watching this Vikings defense play, they had no respect for Will Levis. Like, they just said, hey, if we're going to lose, it's going to be on the right arm of Will Levis. And, give him credit. This was a hell of a throw, a hell of a play. But I thought this was Metellus and overall the Vikings defense just getting a little too, I guess, over their skis a little bit. They were trying to pressure Levis, trying to make a big-time play happen, ended up resulting in another way. But overall, the Vikings defense, we'll talk about it a little more. They have been awesome to start or over the last couple of weeks. And if you just take away this big chunk play here, you take away the Sam Darnold, strip sack fumble touchdown against the Colts, like they have really only given up actually 0 touchdowns or 1 touchdown to Mac Jones over the last 3 weeks. They have been awesome. But let's show some love to this man right here. Sam Darnold was unbelievable yesterday. And he had 3 total touchdowns, just under 250 yards through the air, and he had 18 rush yards, and he had a completion percentage of 62.5. Now, I want to see Darnold really use his legs a whole lot more because, he's a good athlete. Like, he can make plays outside the pocket. And PFF actually graded him out his best performance as a Minnesota Viking at 90.8. Big-time throws. He had 2 of them. They actually had him at 2 turnover-worthy plays, but his ADOT was 10, and his adjusted completion percentage, actually after a couple drops yesterday from Jordan Addison, was at 83.3. So, my take on Sam Darnold's performance yesterday, because I think after watching the Lions, after watching a team like the Eagles on Thursday night, like, if you're going to get this version of Sam Darnold, you can go on a playoff run. Because I think this defense, it will travel to Philly, it will travel to Detroit. But I think in the modern day NFL we live in, it is so hard for teams to just completely neutralize an offense. I think the Vikings against Philly, against Detroit, if they want to win those football games, they're probably going to have to score 30+. And if Darnold plays like he did yesterday, I think that can be the case. But, a lot of people aren't a believer in Sam Darnold, and I understand it, but he's having a hell of a year, man. He's 5th in touchdown passes. Like, he has truly had a absolute resurgence here in Minnesota. So let's show Sam Darnold some love. Type those 14s down below in the comment section, and let's show probably the best quarterback we've had since Case Keenum, maybe Brett Favre. I don't know, but you guys show Sam Darnold some love. Type those 14s down below. All right, let's show the defense some love here as they were awesome yet again yesterday. Excuse me. Shout out to these 2 guys specifically, Andrew Van Ginkel and Jonathan Grenard. These stats are so good that they may look fake. I mean, look at Van Ginkel here on the left side. 46 tackles, 8 sacks, 27 pressures, 2 pick sixes, and 13 TFLs. And then his running mate, Jonathan Grenard, 31 tackles, 8 sacks for him, 51 pressures for Grenard this season. He's also got 9 TFLs to go along with that. And, I thought the defense was dominant yesterday, only giving up 11 first downs, just under 300 yards. Again, you take away that 98-yard touchdown, you hold another team for 3 straight weeks under 200 yards total offense, but only let them in the red zone 1 time, so that's 2 times over the last 3 weeks. Had 5 sacks, and you held them to 13 points, which was awesome. Now, I also want to show some love to a guy who has been quiet the past couple of weeks, but he had 2 sacks yesterday. Shout out to Patrick Jones, his second, 7 sacks on the year, 1 forced fumble, 15 tackles, and 9 TFLs. I thought this was honestly his best game as a Minnesota Viking, and I can already see the commotion, see the comment section. Where is Dallas Turner? Why isn't Dallas Turner getting on the field? I'm not worried at all, and neither should you guys be. All right, neither should you guys. Don't freak out if Dallas Turner isn't playing. This edge group is absolutely stacked here in Minnesota. Like, we legitimately got 3 edge rushers that, Brian Flores just feels comfortable with right now. And, I think that speaks to the talent, and I think that speaks to, first off, the free agency class that Kwesi brought in this past season. So I understand we all want to see the first-round pick out there, but don't freak out if Dallas Turner isn't playing. I just think he's kind of got the short end of the stick. Like, he got drafted by a team where 3 edge rushers are having all career years here. So, don't freak out about number 15. But I'll ask you guys this. The Vikings have the blank best defense in the NFL. As it stands right now, let me know your thoughts on the Vikings defense. Rank it in the NFL. What say you on this one? Now, coming up in a second, talk about the run game, talk about their chances to get the number 1 seed. But first off, got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. If you guys download the PrizePicks app today and sign up today, you guys will get $50 instantly if you use promo code CLNS. That's $50 instantly. Create a $5 lineup. And the best part is you don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. So what is PrizePicks? PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. Now, if you guys are trying to add more juice, increase your viewing experience for a Timberwolves, Wild, or a Vikings game, download the PrizePicks app, create a lineup, and you guys will get in on the fun. Trust me, it makes every game a whole lot more enjoyable when you have a PrizePicks lineup. So download the PrizePicks app today. Use promo code CLNS when you create your first $5 lineup, and you guys will get $50 instantly. Promo code CLNS. Make your first $5 lineup, and you guys will get $50 instantly at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Shout out to them for sponsoring today's show. But PrizePicks, run your game. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the run game, because this has been another year of just the Vikings not being able to run the football whatsoever. And yesterday it was on display. Like, the numbers don't lie here. You ran the ball 33 times and only had 82 yards. It comes out to 2.5 yards per carry. Sam Darnold had a tush-push rushing touchdown, but your longest rush yesterday was only 12 yards. And the thing that is concerning about this is this isn't just like a one-game sample size of them not being able to run the ball. Check out their yards per carry for the last 4 games. 2.9 versus the Rams, 4.2 versus the Colts, 2.9 versus the Jags, and 2.5 versus the Titans. I say all that to say this. The Vikings, Kevin O'Connell, you will not go on a playoff run without a run game, because I think your bread and butter, what's going to be your calling card, what's going to be your identity late in these games, it has to be defense, ball control, and run game, specifically against the Eagles and the Lions. You can escape with wins against the Colts, Jags, and Titans, not being able to run the football. You won't be able to do this against the Eagles, against the Lions, because I guarantee you they will put a whole lot more pressure on Sam Darnold. And, even though he's played great, I don't want all that pressure, all those hopes and expectations just to fall on the right arm of number 14. And, I thought Kevin O'Connell, he's been great. Like, I have no real big gripes with him as the Vikings head coach so far. I think he's a great culture builder. I think he's a great play designer, great play caller. But the one thing he has been able to do, and this is incredibly concerning, just thinking about the future of the Vikings, is that they haven't been able to get a run game for the last 3 seasons. The last 2 years, they averaged less than 100 yards per game, ranking 27th and 29th in NFL. And now, post-bye, you're not able to run the ball yet again. Like, if you take away that one Aaron Jones rushing touchdown for the Lions, you're averaging less than 3 yards per carry. That needs to change if the Vikings have any hopes of going on a big-time playoff run. But I'll ask you guys this. Let me know your thoughts. Be honest with me. Do you trust the Vikings run game specifically in the playoffs? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down below in the comments section. Curious to see what you guys have to say. All right, let's talk about the playoff picture. This is how it shakes out right now. Lions still the number 1 seed at 9-1. Eagles number 2 seed at 8-2. Then we got the Cardinals 6-4, holding on to the number 3 spot. And then look at that. The playoffs started tomorrow. Who would the Minnesota Vikings be taking on? It would be Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. Now, we'll say this. If this is a playoff picture where it's, let's just say, Packers going to Arizona, Washington going to Philly, Lions get the bye, I'm assuming the Vikings and Packers would win, which would mean the Packers would go to Detroit, we would go to Philly, or we would potentially host a divisional round game if the Washington Commanders were able to win. But I honestly, if the Vikings aren't able to get the number 1 seed, I'm absolutely cool with this being, the potential first round playoff matchup with the Vikings, as I think, the Falcons are just not up to par with the level that the Vikings are on. But I'm not joking when I say this. I know the Lions are coming off a 52-6 victory versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, but if I'm the Lions, I'm scared. They still got to play the Niners and the Bills. And let's just say the Vikings run the table for the rest of the season and they lose one of those games. Then that Week 18 game, where the Lions could potentially have 2 losses heading into that, they could potentially be facing 3 straight playoff road games straight in the face if they lose to the Minnesota Vikings. So if I'm the Lions, I'm a little nervous about this team moving forward. Like, yes, they are the best team in the NFC. They are probably the best team in football right now. But in a one game, anything can happen situation, Week 18, where it's a number 1 seed on the line, I would like the chances for our Minnesota Vikings. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but, the Lions are having this great year. But let's just say they lose this game, Week 18, Vikings get the 1 seed, and you're the 5, and you got to go play whoever the 4 seed is, anything can happen, especially on the road in the playoffs. Now, the Lions have looked great. I'm not saying the Vikings are a better team than them right now, but, the Lions would have just missed one kick versus the Vikings. We could be we have a whole different story about, the true potential of this football team. I mean, we could be 9-1, they could be 8-2, just like that. Just one missed kick. So hopefully they can go into Detroit Week 18 and at least compete for the number 1 seed. And, how awesome would that be? Week 18, Lions, Vikings, NFC North title on the line, number 1 seed in the NFC on the line. I just can't wait for the rest of this season. But I ask you guys this. Confidence level in the Vikings getting the number 1 seed. Scale it for me, 1 through 10 down below in the comment section. And also, guys, I'm on Twitter. That's a handle right there, @PatSieps. Give me a follow over there, and I'll follow you guys right back. But thank you guys so much for watching today's show. As always, Skol Vikes.